I assume it's a busy one for you.
Yeah, lots to talk about, Emily. We've been talking about Storm Éowyn, haven't we, throughout this week. But very quickly, before I move on to that, well, it's been quite stormy at times for the day today, hasn't it? The wind's really picked up, squally conditions as some heavy rain moved through earlier this morning and this afternoon. It cleared and we managed to see some rather beautiful rainbows out there. So thank you all for sending in pictures. But let's get back to Storm Éowyn. Everyone's been hearing about it over the last few days. If you were watching the national news, you'll have noticed there is a red warning in force for Ireland and parts of Scotland. That's a danger to life. But here in the East Midlands, the impacts we're expecting is there's an amber warning covering the far north of the Peak District. Now, for us in the East Midlands, that means 60 to 70 miles per hour winds expected within that area, maybe stronger over the hills. But within the rest of the yellow warning across the East Midlands, 50 to 60 miles per hour quite widely. Obviously, the impacts will vary across the East Midlands as well as that weather moves its way through during the next 24 hours or so. This is Storm Éowyn, a rapidly deepening area of low pressure, tracking gradually to the northeast of the UK as we go through Friday and into Saturday. You'll notice that squeeze on the isobars as it moves through. It's also expecting to bring some quite heavy rain with it overnight tonight, but it's fairly quiet out there at the moment. So some clear skies and it's turning quite chilly, temperatures dropping away a little bit, but quickly we'll start to see that cloud increasing and eventually that rain sweeping through. Some heavy, extensive rain for a time during the early hours of Friday morning. Now it is being driven through quite quickly with the help of that wind. Winds gusting, as I say, 50 to 60 miles per hour, and those minimum temperatures are of about 2 degrees Celsius. Now, for some of us, that rain will still be with us first thing, but I think for many by rush hour, it will have cleared its way out towards the east. So a few showers follow on behind briefly, but then it looks largely dry and settled with some decent sunny spells around, if albeit a little bit hazy at times. But the winds will continue to be strong gales throughout the day on Friday, again with wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour, highs of 10 degrees Celsius. Saturday, a more settled day. There will be some sunshine around through the day. The winds that little bit lighter with temperatures around 5 degrees Celsius. There's further unsettled weather to come as we go into the weekend. Another area of low pressure system heading our way. So further wet and windy weather expected. Now, of course, me and the team will be keeping you up to date, but also will your BBC local radio teams. They'll be keeping you up to date every minute over the next couple of days.
Thank you.
Good evening. You've been hearing us talk about Storm Éowyn over the last few days. As it stands, these are the warnings we currently have in force here in the East Midlands. The amber warning just comes into the far north of the Peak District, 60 to 70 miles per hour expected there. But in the yellow, which covers all of the East Midlands, 50 to 60 miles per hour is expected. Now, the impacts will be varied across the region, but for all of us, it is expected to be really quite a windy night with some heavy rain. You can see the rain associated with Storm Éowyn pushing through here. It is a deepening area of low pressure that's gradually tracking up to the northeast of the UK. So it's been fairly quiet so far this evening. It will continue that way for the next hour or so. The winds will begin to pick up and the rain then arrives. Some heavy rainfall pushing through, but it is being driven through quite quickly because of the strength of the winds. And as I said, we could see wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour, a minimum temperature of 2 degrees Celsius. So a wet, windy start today, but I think by rush hour, most of that rain will have cleared away, leaving us then dry. There might be some hazy sunshine, but certainly a bright or sunny picture as we go into the afternoon. Highs of 10 degrees Celsius, but still windy. There's winds still gusting at 50 to 60 miles per hour. They will begin to ease off as we head into the weekend, but there is that potential of disruption from Storm Éowyn, travel disruption. So myself and the team will be keeping you up to date, as will your BBC local radio stations.